Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Stu, and this is Tranquil Gardens for Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic. The previous owner of the Tranquil Gardens put beauty before profit, and the shareholders aren't happy. It is up to you to increase the park value and satisfy your shareholders. Your objective to achieve a park value of at least 285,000 at the end of October year 3. So current value then is 59,000. So I immediately can see we've got a train. Click on that, and we've got two stations. I can tell that from the ride time and the ride length. There's two different types, two different figures there. Okay, so we've got a lot of scenery. Okay, interesting. A hairpin coaster in there. Good stats on that. So that'll be handy then, because one of the primary ways of raising park value is rides with high stats. Okay, so let's turn off scenery a second so we can see what's going on. We've got a carousel. We've got loads of weird paths. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the solid sort of bridges. A maze that's way more complex than it needs to be. We've got the other station down there. A spiral side with some pathing that needs to be simplified. One of those land bridges again. Monorail cycles, and we know how hideous those are, so we're going to be getting rid of that. Very complex path in the middle there. Yeah, okay, so let's look what we've got. We've got transport rides. We've got some gentle rides, good selection. Decent selection to begin with of roller coasters, some thrill rides, some water rides, and a poor selection of shops. So let's go all in on shops for the moment. And then I think what we're going to do then is we're going to spend at least the first year simplifying pathing. Like this is just a mess as far as Roller Coaster Tycoon is concerned. The guests just cannot handle this sort of pathing. So let's simplify the pathing, put down some flat rides, and then we'll see where we are. October year 1. So I've started simplifying the pathing then. So as you can see, I've started that on the coaster just there. What was it called? Roofless Rock. We've got Haunted House just in the middle there. We've simplified this bit above. We've added some little food stalls and some seating areas as well. We've got a junior coaster there. We're charging for rides. I think I mentioned that. So we've got free entry into the park. So this is going to be a nice little profit coaster for me. We've got the carousel just up there. I need to do something with that path to nowhere down there. And then coming around here then, I've built a little bridge going across, and I'm going to get rid of the land either side of it so we can put it back to being water. With the path going under. I've simplified the maze. Oh, wrong one. Let's have a look. Hide scenery. Hide land surface. There you go. So what I've done is I've just taken the footprint. So the original one was a 9x9, and I've gone into the ride designer and I've just created a 9x9 maze that is just one continuous path from start to finish. So it's going to give us the same stats, but it's just going to be a lot easier for the guests to go through it. We've got a bit of a queue, but that's fine. I'm not worried about that. If it does become a problem, we can easily put down an entertainer or something. So there's the other station then. I'm adding some little bits of path to make it easier and things like that. And one thing I want to do is when we get the kiosk, I've got the kiosk. When we start putting down more kiosks, what we'll do is we'll put them on the major junctions, things like that, you know. Got the spiral slide just there. I've simplified the pathing. We're going to get rid of that land bridge there, and we're going to replace this bit with a bridge as well. Again, toilet kiosks on all major junctions. As soon as it rains, we will really see the benefit of that. Plus, all the extra toilets will help potentially get us best toilet award, because that is clearly the best award in the game. Oh no! 4 guests have died in an accident on Roofless Rock. So that's entirely my fault for putting faith in a pre-built and not checking it. Oh, there you go. You can see the explosion just there. Oh, there you go. So you can see that going back. So clearly then it's run out of speed just there. Yeah, you can see it hitting, but it's not hitting. Oh, yeah. So clearly then it's not got enough speed to get through this section. So I'm going to replace this part here with a chain lift just to make sure it makes it around, and we shouldn't get any more crashes. That's the plan. It's a park value scenario, so we don't really care too much about guest numbers and park rating. I mean, guest numbers do add a little bit to your park value, but not so much that it's going to be a problem. We only need 285,000. We've currently got 98,000. So yeah, let's just crack on, and I'll make those changes, and hopefully we won't get any more problems. October, year 2, and as you can see, we've got a side friction coaster just there. It's called Easy Rider. Nice stats on that. So I'm in the middle of decorating it. Now let's have a quick tour around the park then. So we've got a looping coaster just up here called Whoosh. Nice high stats on that. So what I've done is I've just set the launch speed to 60. It's fine. The stats are fine, so I'll leave it at that, because at this moment, what we really want is high stats, because that'll give us good value. Speaking of which, 208,000. Yes, always make sure you don't mistake park value for company value. It's the park value that you want. So I've got rid of the land just by there to open up the water, restore the river, and then we've got Tranquil Terror Tower. Decent stats on that. As mentioned before, if you're ever stuck for park value towards the end, you can always extend these up to the maximum height, ram the speed up, get huge stats, and that should take you over if you're pretty close, or if you just want to make sure. We've got some pirate ships down there. Now, one thing I do normally say is duplicating rides will give you a park value penalty. So if, for example, each of these pirate ships on its own would normally add, I don't know, 8,000 park value, because there's a 25% penalty. At the moment, they're only going to add 6,000. I'm just making these figures up. I don't know what they exactly are. But 12,000, 2 times 6 is clearly higher than 8,000. So, swings and roundabouts, if you pardon the pun. And then just over here, we've seen the maze. I've decorated that. And we've got a wooden wild mouse just there called the Tranquil Rat. Decent stats there. And what's up with the train? Oh, there you go. It's broken down. So just decorated the paths for that. One thing I did do earlier was rejig the paths, so we've got a longer entrance queue for that. And we've got a motion simulator just there. Got some balloon stalls down as well. What are we researching? I haven't told you. So I've forgotten to tell you what we've been researching. So we researched all the shops then we researched thrill rides, and now we're researching roller coasters. So we've got the motion simulator there. We've seen, oh, there you go. Look, it's pretty cool actually how the pink train has broken down next to the pink spiral slide. And then we've got the bridge over there. So we've got rid of the land and sort of decorated that little bit. But there, what can we put there? Got another little motion simulator there, and a couple of swinging inverter ships there, Tandemonium, and with these, that one's Thrill Riders, because that's the name of the video it's showing, and the other one, Avenging Aviators. Yeah, got a nice little cool, oh, hang on, got to change that, don't we? There you go. Nice little entrance for the ride there. I think that looks pretty cool. And of course, we got rid of that little path to nowhere as well, because that's where the looping coaster is now. So as we saw, we've got, oh, there you go, park value's gone up a bit, 217,000. So we don't need a lot now. 285,000. We've got another year to go, so we're just going to put down some coasters, have some fun, and pass the scenario. September year 3, so I noticed that there was a massive queue on Roofless Rock, so I've had a look, and as you can see, one of the rides, one of the cars is stalled, and all the rest of them are bunched up. Thankfully, they weren't going fast enough that they crashed and killed more guests, but it's not good all the same. So, what I'm going to have to do is add a little bit of chain lift to this section, just there in front of the empty car, and then they should make their way around, and it shouldn't get stuck again. One thing though is if you're going to keep pre-builts, one thing I haven't done on this one is if you're going to keep pre-builts, make sure you check them beforehand, because this is entirely my fault for not checking them. Okay, so what have we done then? We've added a little coaster there, compact inverted coaster called the Bat. Decent stats on that. We've got a little path going up for a wooden coaster called Warden. So just a few funky twists and turns, just to add some extra stats and get some interactions with the other rides. A little mini golf just down there, just to help boost some numbers. And then around here then, there you go, we've got a Virginia reel. Just comes out, just comes up here, down, drops down, interacts with the go-kart ride that we've got here. Another little mini golf. And then we've got a wild mouse just there. We've got an observation tower. My voice is starting to croak a bit. And we've got a corkscrew coaster just there. Goes into a cutback, then into a loop. So normally it wouldn't make it through the loop, but with the cutback, there's a weird thing where corkscrew elements make it go a little bit faster. It just gives it enough speed that it can make it through the loop. And then we've seen all these back here. So one thing I'm going to do, we've got the Ferris wheel, another little golf hole and space rings as well. So one thing I'm going to do, since we've got a little bit of time, not too much, but a little bit of time, is I'm going to export this, import it into Open RCT2, chuck a load of trees down and things like that, and then export it back and import it into Classic. And then we can complete the goal. October year 3. And we've got a park value of 384,000, which is around about 100,000 more than what we needed. So when we came in then, we had loads of really confusing paths. They were going all off everywhere randomly. So what I've done is I've simplified the paths. We researched shops, first of all, spent the first year simplifying paths and putting down any flat rides that we had. Added a junior coaster just here to give us some nice profit. That way then we're able to fund all the expansions that we need, because we're charging for a ride. So a few nice profit coasters early on will really boost the cash coming in. One thing I've done as well is I've made all the flat rides free and put all the coasters down to £5, because we got tons of cash, or enough cash anyway, to build the rides that we needed for the value. So we don't need to be greedy. I know I always say it's Rollercoaster Tycoon or Rollercoaster Charity, but you know, we might as well keep the guests that we've got in the park and add a few more, because they do add a little bit of value. So we've got that. Then we kept the merry-go-round. We've got nice looping coaster just there called Whoosh. Set it on maximum launch speed. We've got a launch tower just there and a wooden coaster called Warden just there. Video game reference for you there. And we've got the Bat as well, compact inverted coaster with a batwing element and a couple of loops. Roofless Ridge is a pre-built that was in there. It crashed early on, and then a few years later it got stuck as well. So I did have to add some chain lift elements or a couple of sections to avoid that happening again. The maze was there originally, but what I did is I replaced it with one that's one continuous line from start to finish. We've got a wooden wild mouse just there called Tranquil Rat. Good stats there. And the second of the two train stations. I've simplified the pathing and expanded the entrance queue as well to add, so we can get more people going in. Early on, I was charging about £5 a go for the train, but we got it down to free at the moment, just to give guests who enjoy going around there, getting them off the main paths. Got an observation tower just there, similar with the rotor drops and the launch towers. You can put these up to the maximum heights and you'll get higher stats. You're not going to get huge intensity and nausea with these, but that's fine. The other two you will, and even though guests might not ride them, you'll still get high park value. Got a wild mouse just over here called Mouseface. One of several mini golfs that we got around the place, just in order to add more guests to the park and see if we can win Best Gentle Ride Award for having 10 gentle rides in the park. Speaking of awards, what have we got at the moment? We've got award for the park with the best roller coasters and the safest park award. So each of those will boost our guest generation by 25%, and they do stack. Got a go-kart just there. The spiral slide was here when we got in. There were at a couple of points across the water, there were some land bridges, and we've done it. Ooh. But I've got rid of those and replaced them with proper bridges. Just looks a lot nicer. We've got a corkscrew just down there called Rampage. Ferris wheel, a couple of swinging inverted ships. We've got another sim ride there. We've got side friction coaster just there called Easy Rider. Decent stats on that. My number one tip for these, don't build the chain lift too high. You only need it high enough so it makes it round and you've got a decent drop on there. Off the top of my head, I don't know what it is, but that's 13 feet and you're not getting any penalty for that. Yeah, if you make it go too fast, then you're just increasing the chances of it crashing. And we've got a haunted house just there, space rings, and we've not had any more problems with Ruthless Rock since the last time we rejigged it, and a couple of pirate ships just down there. So not a bad scenario then. It did take a lot of work to get it looking the way I wanted it to look, or getting the path in the way I wanted it, because it's really easy to just rush in and start building, only to then get loads of problems with guests getting lost and stuck and things like that, and then having to stop what you're doing and rejigging pathing and stuff like that. So I'd rather just get it over and done with in the first year and then spend the next couple of years building my rides. I just find it a lot easier to do it that way. So this was Tranquil Gardens, another scenario from Terra Hank's scenario pack. It's been awesome so far. Really enjoyed it. There's probably only been one, maybe two scenarios that we've done so far that I haven't been 100% on, but all the rest of them have been really good. I'm just today, before recording this, I'm just having like one of those boring days where you're focusing on editing and thumbnails, and I just want to get back into playing, But you got to do it. You got to do it. So anyway, I've been Stu. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.